Hello everyone and welcome to my new CSS Variables mini-series. Now in this mini-series we will be covering a topic in CSS called variables. Now what variables are essentially they allow us to kind of take a piece of code, especially like in our CSS, say we have a color that we're reusing throughout the website a lot of places. That's like a kind of custom color that we've looked online for, and that's not standard in CSS. Well, instead of copying and pasting the hex value or just the like kind of value of the color over and over and over, we can use what's called a CSS variable to hold the color, and then in any element that we need to use that color, we just say, I want to use this variable. I want to use this color. So we're going to basically start off in this first episode by kind of installing our development environment so that we can actually get coding. I will leave chapters in this video, so if you've already installed your preferred editor, including VSCode, then you can go ahead and skip to when we start writing a hello world. But in this video, it is mostly going to be installation. So we're going to go ahead and start off. In this tutorial, I will be using an editor called VSCode, which is a very, very common, I believe it is the most common code editor for all programming languages. And I prefer to use it, but you can get this done with any code editor given that you know how to use it. So we're going to go ahead and start off by searching in VSCode into Google. And what this will do is it will bring up this code.visualstudio.com link, and you want to click download. Now once you're here, you can go ahead and download the Windows, Linux, or Mac version depending on what you need. I'm going to go ahead and download Windows since I'm on a Windows. And then once it finishes, then you can run it and install. I'm going to go ahead and cancel since I already have it installed here. And once you have it installed, you should get something that looks somewhat like this. Now the first step you're going to want to do is hit File and then Open Folder. And then you want to create some sort of folder that is meant specifically for your code. Now once you're in there, after you've created your folder, you want to set up some VS Code, what are called extensions, and they just make it easier to write our HTML and CSS code. And that is another note. If you are watching this, I am expecting that you, or I'm assuming that you have basic HTML and CSS experience. Not necessarily, you have not necessarily have to watch my previous CSS mini-series, but you do have to have some basic website building, just HTML and CSS, and a tiny bit of JavaScript. If you don't know either of those, you can check out my Introduction to Web Development tutorial series and or my Introduction or my JavaScript for Beginners tutorial series, both here on my channel. So once you have this editor installed, click on this little icon on the left with the 3 cubes and the 1 cube sticking out, and search up HTML space CSS, and you will get this extension right here that's called HTML and CSS support. You'll see a green install button like that, except it'll be here. I already have it installed, that's why you don't see it, but you can click on that install button, and then you want to go ahead and search for live space server, and then you want to go ahead and click on that, and same thing with the green install button. And then finally, I always like to use another extension called auto rename tag. Now you can use this one's not highly rated, but it works fine for me, or if there's any other one that you want to use, I'm pretty sure these all work the same for the most part, so go ahead and click on that green install button. And once you have those 3 installed, then we can go ahead and move on. Now once you are here in your editor, what you're going to want to do is click on this button here with the 2 files and open up wherever you opened your code folder, and click on this button right here. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure I'm selecting, and then click on this little button that says new file when you hover over it, and then type in index.html. And all we're doing here is we're setting up a basic HTML website so that we can host our CSS. You want to type in an exclamation point and then hit enter, and that will create a basic website kind of layout template. And then inside the body, and again I am assuming you have basic HTML experience, inside the body we are going to quickly create an H1 that says hello world. Now again, you might want to, if you don't see this go live button down here on the bottom, you want to go ahead and hit Control Shift P or Command Shift P and then type in reload. It'll say developer reload window. Just go ahead and click on that and it will reload here. And after a few seconds you should see a go live button now if you've installed the live server extension. So once you have your HTML open and click on that button, it will open up your website. So now we have our little hello world, and notice if I add an exclamation point and save, it will add it here on this side. This is all standard HTML. Now we are going to add a link to our CSS, link:/CSS, and then create our style.css file. Now let's just test it really quick. Let's try to make our H1 red, just like that, and perfect, it works. So the first kind of use case that we're going to quickly use for our little hello world example is we're going to create a p tag here, and let's just search up. You can use any text really. I'm just going to generate a bit of text here. Whoops. Here. Okay, so I'm just going to grab a big paragraph here and stick it in there. And then now we have this whole thing. And what we're going to want to do is we're going to come here to the internet and search up colors, or color palette, or CSS colors. Oh no, let's search up just hex colors. You can tell I'm a bit tired. I'm recording this at 1 in the morning, but that doesn't matter. Just come here to HTML color codes, grab a random color. Let's click on that. Grab this hex value. It starts with a hash, and then there's 6 letters and characters after. And then instead of using red there, go ahead and paste in that hash, and instead we get this creamish color. And what we're also going to do is we're going to come here to this P, and we are going to type the same thing, color like that. Now let's say we wanted to make the color red now. Well, in order to do that, we would have to come here into our styling and type in red, come here to our P, type in red. Oh, no, never mind. We want to make it blue now. I have to go there, change it to blue, go there, change it to blue. And notice this is a little bit of a hassle, especially if you have hundreds and hundreds. If you have a ginormous site and you have hundreds of styles that rely on the same color, you don't want to go and change literally 100 different entries in order to change your color. So that's where variables come into play. Now again, this is just a very basic introduction. You use a selector called :root, and then like that. And the root is basically where you store all of your variables generally in CSS, or at least what are your global variables, the variables that you will use across your website. And you type in root, and then -- starts a variable in CSS. We can say --main -color, for example. So the variable name is main -color, and then the -- starts the variable is blue. And in order to actually use that variable, we use something called var, and then --main color. And then let's go ahead and do the same thing here, var --main color. And if I save that, notice it is the same. Now, what happens if I change it to red here? Now all of our text is red. What if I change it to green? Now all of our text is green. What if I change it to that weird color? Now all of our text is that weird color. And notice, let's just say this was a blog, for some sort of blog. Let me go back to the lorem ipsum generator really quick. And let's grab a second paragraph. And let's give it an ID of special, or a class of special. So again, like we want to give that special like the same color for whatever reason. And let's just say it's not a P actually. Let's make it a H3. So notice again, we want all of these to be the same color. And this is the way to do it, because if, again, we wanted to do it manually, we'd have to remove that, change it here, remove that, change it here, and every time we wanted to change the color, we would have to change it in every place that we use it. Instead, we can just use this simple variable. So that was just the basic introduction to variables. If you want to see this series as it starts coming out, you can check out the playlist, which will be linked in the description. If you enjoyed the video, please consider giving it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for notifications whenever I post new videos. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.